I'm Ernie Conover, and today we're going to make a simple 3-leg stool. We're going to start by turning the legs. We've mounted a 27-inch long by 1.5-inch square billet in the lathe and turned it just round. But at a point 7 inches from the floor, we've sized it to 1 5/16 inches. At a point 17 inches from the floor, we've sized it to 1 7/16 inches. And we've maintained the 1.5 inch diameter up here. The last 2 inches will be a tenon, which will fit into the seat. Now this is called a bamboo style turning, and the first thing we have to do is take the tip of a skew chisel and just make a simple little series of cuts here to create a little groove that will simulate that bamboo comb. The next thing we're going to do is size our tenon, and we do that with a beading and parting tool and a 15/16 wrench. And all right, here's the last cut. I'm going to put just a little chamfer on that, and now I'll take a spindle gouge and just barely break that corner. Now all we have to do is take our roughing out gouge and make a gentle swale between these 2 points. Now we'll slow the lathe down and use a skew, start in that heel cut on the very heel. Now slide down into a regular cut. Blend them out, and there we have a really nice finish. Drilling the holes in the seat to accept the legs is a straightforward drill press job. I've just stacked up scrap wood that I had laying around the shop and put another scrap piece of plywood over it until I achieved about a 15-degree angle, give or take a degree. It isn't real important. I then clamped this piece of plywood down with a couple of C-clamps. I then locked my spindle down with a brad point in one of the punch marks for my legs. And then I simply line up the center of the column, the brad point, and the center of the circle, like so. The best way to dish out or rump fit our stool seat is with a large round nose scraper like this. I've mounted the piece on a screw chuck. I've drawn an 8-inch circle just outside our leg holes, and I'll now simply proceed to remove that material like this. I now carefully measure the distance between the nodes at the bottom of the leg, and I note that it's 14 7/16 inches. To this measurement, I add 1 5/16, which allows for a 5/8 inch long, 5/8 inch diameter tenon at each end, plus another 16th to actually stretch these legs apart, as the name implies. The front stretcher is turned on 2 axes, and we're going to start on the offset axis first, which will leave a flat spot on the center section. We can do the whole job with a roughing out gouge. There. Looking really good. We're ready to go to our other axis. Now we've switched back to our primary axis, which is the center of the turning, and we'll turn just these end sections and blend them out right here and create a stretcher with a step in it. Let's do it. 5/8 long. I'm going to just touch it with a set of dividers like so, and I'll use my beading and parting tool. Put a little chamfer on the end, and now we'll blend this right down to a nice dainty shoulder. And there we are, our cool stretcher here. The easiest way to drill the legs to accept the stretchers at the proper angle is with a handheld electric drill. I've marked all my legs so that I can get them into the same rotation every time in the seat. And all I do is put this where I want to drill, in this case right on one of our grooves. And I start the drill a little high and I turn it just a little because I won't exactly fit between these legs with this drill. And then I start up the drill like this, get it started, and then I'm going to bring it down so that I'm in line with the other stretcher. And now I just speed up the drill. And I've put a piece of duct tape on the drill at 5/8 so I can't drill too deep. Once I have the holes drilled, I'll dry assemble as I have here, and then I'll measure the distance to the next stretcher, and I'll drill the hole for that above on this side, below on that side, and then I'll do the final one, drilling to the opposite so that these back stretchers form an X, and I'm not entering this leg on the same plane with any of my mortises. That's all there is to it. Now that we've glued our stool all together and wedged the tenons, and we've wedged it in such a way that we're going to expand the tenons along the grain of the seat blank and not across it. Across would split the blank possibly. And now all we have to do is trim these tenons off, and the best tool for that is a big fishtail gouge. A little bit of sanding and finishing, and we're all done.